afternoon, pilot teachers, and good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, Mr. Asake.
Okay, thank you. Sit down. Okay, today we are going to move on now to looking at the next unit in our grade 11 syllabus work in geography, and every one of you should have a copy of the booklet, which has a densely populated or a study of a densely populated area in a developing nation, and the subtopic is Java. Our case study in this booklet will be based mainly on an area which is densely populated, and as well as that it is an area in a developing nation. And this booklet here will contain most of the information we require for the completion of this case study. I'd like us to look at the content in the booklet so that we have a fair idea of what is actually in store for us after we complete going through this particular booklet. And because it is a case study, we are also going to cover a lot of things that we have already covered in Introduction to Physical Geography, and that is looking at landforms, the different landforms in this particular area. As well as that, we have also covered information on climate. We're going to discuss the type of climate which this particular area experiences and the reason or reasons for why this particular area experiences this type of climate. We're also going to look at vegetation of this area, and also we're going to look at the population distribution and density, plus other information to do with agriculture, settlement patterns, and etc. But most of the information that we are going to make reference to will be based on the case study on Java. Okay, looking at page 1 of our booklet, by the end of the unit, or once we complete information from this booklet, these are the following objectives that you should be able to achieve. The first one, locate and identify the main islands of Indonesia in relation to the rest of the world, and more specifically, Southeast Asia. Number 2, to describe the climate and natural vegetation of Indonesia. Number 3, to describe the terms extensive and intensive agriculture. Number 4, be able to identify the land use areas on Java. Number 5, to compare the factors that influence the type of crops grown on Java with the outer islands of Indonesia. Number 6, to describe and explain the attempts to make the environment of Java more agriculturally productive. Number 7, explain the factors. Number 7 should read, describe industrial growth in Indonesia. Number 8, to explain the factors influencing population distribution on Java. Number 9, to explain the effect of rapid population increase on the environment. Number 10, be able to calculate population density. 11, to describe the efforts of the Indonesian government to solve the problem of population increase. And finally, be able to explain the push and pull factors or theory of urban migration in relation to Java. So a lot of information that we are going to actually look at on this particular case study will be on human geography. We have completed the work now on the physical geography. Remember at the very beginning when we started the introduction to our work on geography, I had a definition to what geography is all about. And I also mentioned that geography will be in 3 parts when we are studying this topic or this subject in grade 11 and 12. The first part is physical geography. The second part is the skills part, where we covered at the very beginning when we looked at mapping skills of contour, gradients, calculation of distance, directions, and etc. And the third part now is human geography, and that's the part that we are going to go into when we look at the case study. We also have one more case study to work on, and that is going to be a case study of Papua New Guinea. If we do complete our work on this booklet, then we should also have time for the completion of the second booklet, as it is part of the syllabus work we are expected to cover in grade 11. Okay, so we are now looking at human geography, but the introduction part to our work on the case study of Java, we look at generally physical information on landforms and the type of relief that this particular area has, vegetation of this area and climate, before we move on to population density, distribution, settlement, and etc. Okay, to start off with our introduction then to the work on Java, the case study, we're going to do some map work. And the map work will involve using an atlas so that we are able to identify some of the countries that are around the country of our case study and also the area of our case study. So you will need your atlas making reference to perhaps physical well map, or you can have a look at the area in your atlas for Southeast Asian regions, because most of the activities that we will be doing will be based on the Southeast Asian region. Each one of you should have a copy of a blank map, and on that blank map it contains some activities that will be required to work on. And those activities should be able to help us generally recognize this country of our case study in relation to the other countries that are around. On the monitor, if you look at the information on the monitor, you have a map of Southeast Asia and many countries around the Southeast Asian region. And we note also the country of our case study, if you look at the work on the monitor, is actually in the color brown. That's the area of our, the country of our case study. We are not going to study about this whole country. Rather, we are going to look at specifically one of the main islands in this country, and the main island in this country here is called Java. But before we come to Java and looking at information about Java, let's do a general map work that also includes some countries around Southeast Asia. Okay, the blank world map that you have. Sorry, not the world map, but the blank map that contains information on the Southeast Asian countries. You're going to use that map for the following activities. So I would like you now to make note of those activities on the space next to your map. The first of the activity, you are going to name the countries which are numbered 1 to 13. So if you look at your map contains numbers 1 to 13. Numbers 1 to 13 should be a country that you will be able to locate from your atlas and write down the correct country next to the number. Exercise B. Number 14 on your map work is supposed to be an ocean, and you are going to identify by writing down the name of that ocean correctly. Number 15, that is activity C, is an area of sea, and you are going to find what is the name of that particular sea and write down the name of that sea next to number 15. Let's look at activity D. Activity D covers numbers 16 to 17. Those numbers, they are supposed to represent lines of latitude or lines of latitude. So you are going to write the name of the two lines of latitude that are numbered number 16 and number 17. And finally, exercise E, numbers 18, 19, and 20, they are supposed to represent rivers. So again, using your atlas, see if you can identify the name of those rivers. The numbers should be able to help you identify the location. Okay, have you made note now of these activities? If you have not, quickly, and then we will move on with the display of the map, so that using that map, you will be able to complete those 5 activities that have been assigned. You have your map, blank map, the blank maps that were given, distributed. Then you will not be able to do the activities without the maps. I gave out those maps. The extra maps, did I leave them with you? Okay, we'll work together like what you're doing, that's fine. You need a? No, just write the names of the countries. Okay, so that's good. At least you can do the activities using his map, and later on we can get a copy for you. Clear. That should be number 4 in there. It's not very clear.
Number 3.
3, 4. Where is 4? Okay, yeah. So we're going 1. I don't even see where 2 is. 3. Okay. No, it's extra one here. We done? We finished? We ready to correct? Okay, quickly. I'll give you 1 more minute and then we'll correct those 5 activities. Okay, we'll correct. We're going to go around the class, starting from the front here, and we will be all expected to give at least an answer for the different countries, the sea, the lines of latitude, and the ocean. So we'll start from Shelley. Up front, number 1, the country. What we are basically looking at is countries in the monsoon Asia region, and it's important for us to also note the different countries around that area before we come specifically to looking at the case study, which is on Indonesia. Okay, number 1.
Number 1 is India.
India, everyone check. We happy with the country India for number 1? Yes, that's correct. Give yourself a tick. Catherine, number 2.
Thailand.
You all had? The country, Thailand. Okay, check. Number 2 is Thailand, correct? Dorothy, number 3.
Myanmar.
Myanmar, all check. Okay, we check number 3. Correction also on the monitor. Myanmar for number 3. Country 4, Noel.
Russia.
Russia for country 4. We happy with Russia? No? Val, what do you think is for country 4?
Mongolia.
Mongolia? There's some students who are not happy with Mongolia. Anyone else with a different answer from China? Sorry, from Mongolia or Russia? Anyone else with a different answer from Mongolia or Russia? Yes, who's got a different answer? Ovio, what is your answer for country 4?
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan for country 4. Susan?
China.
China? Okay, we had a list of different countries there for area 4. We check with our monitor for the correction. The country China. Looking up here also, perhaps on a bigger map. This area 4 is located around here. The country is China. Okay, so number 4, make your corrections. That's supposed to be China. You'll be able to identify because of the rivers that are also from the worksheet that is given. You will see the 2 main rivers there, 19 and 18, when you come to doing that activity also. So question number 4 is China. Number 5, country 5, Val.
Malaysia.
Country 5, according to Val, is Malaysia. We are happy with Malaysia. Okay, we'll double check. Yes, number 5 is supposed to be Malaysia. Number 6, Gideon.
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, we all happy with Sri Lanka? Any disagreements? No? Okay, let's double check. Area 6, definitely Sri Lanka. Number 7, Kathy. Country 7?
Laos.
Country 7, Laos. Okay, we check. Correct. Mason, country 8?
Taiwan.
Taiwan, we happy with Taiwan? Okay, we double check. Definitely Taiwan for country 8. Country 9, Ebony?
Japan.
Japan, we all happy with Japan? Yes, country 9 is definitely Japan. Bill, country 10?
Cambodia.
Cambodia? Everyone happy that it's Cambodia for number 10? Okay, check. Definitely correct. Country 10 is Cambodia. Gao, country 11?
Philippines.
The Philippines, we happy with the Philippines? Okay, country 11 is the Philippines, correct? Country 12, Salesi?
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh, all happy with Bangladesh? We double check. And that's also correct. And finally, country 13. Rebecca.
Indonesia.
Again, Indonesia. Okay, so country 13, we're happy with Indonesia being the country. Okay, and that is also the country of our case study. And when we do the work on our case study, we're not going to look at the whole of Indonesia. Rather, we are going to look at one of the main islands in that country, and that is the island of Java. Hands up those students who got 13 out of 13. 12 out of 13. Which country did we get wrong for 12? China. Okay. So I think most of the students would have got 12 out of 13, especially after we've done the correction for number 4. For those who got 13 out of 13, well done. Let's move on. Number 14. For activity 14, we are supposed to name the ocean. So let's name that ocean. Christopher, number 14.
Indian Ocean.
The Indian Ocean. We're all happy with that. Yes, that's correct. Number 14 is supposed to be the Indian Ocean. Ovio. Number 15. We're supposed to name a sea. What is the name of the sea in number 15?
The South China Sea.
The South China Sea. We all happy with that? And that's also correct. So we have number 15 for the South China Sea. Number 16 and 17 are lines of latitude. Adam, number 16, the name of that line of latitude.
Tropic of Capricorn.
Number 16 is the Tropic of Capricorn.
Sorry. Tropic of Cancer.
Number 16
Equator.
is okay, make up your mind quickly. Which one? What is the answer for number 16?
The equator.
The equator. Okay. He's finally given us the correct answer, definitely. Number 16 is supposed to be the equator. Number 17. Renagi.
Tropic of Cancer.
The Tropic of Cancer, we all happy with that? Yes. Okay, good. Number 17 is definitely the Tropic of Cancer. Okay, let's move on now. This time, 18, 19, and 20, we are expected to name the rivers. Susan, 18. Name of the river identified with the number 18.
River number 18 is Huang Ho River.
The Huang Ho River. We all happy with the Huang Ho River? Yes. Okay, we double check. Mason, you're not happy with the Huang Ho River? So what river did you have written down? Okay, Mason is going to give us the alternative.
Emwa River.
The
Emwa.
Emwa River. Okay, the Emwa River, according to Mason. We have those two alternatives. We double check. Okay, for number 18, Susan is correct. It is definitely the Huang Ho River. Gibest, River 19.
Yangtze.
Okay, the Yangtze River. Anyone disagree with that? We all happy with the Yangtze River? Okay. And number 20 is not supposed to come up or come on yet, but for number 20, that is supposed to be the Ganges, the river Ganges. Okay, so 18 is the Huang Ho, 19 is the Yangtze River, and number 20 is the Ganges. Okay, from that activity, we basically did a little bit on mapping the monsoon region or Asian countries. It is very important also for us to generally know our maps and the location of some of those important features as well as countries also around the area of our case study. In our next lesson, we are going to do more work on map work. And this time, we are going to now specifically come to looking at Indonesia and the area of our case study. And those mapping activities we will do in our next lesson. But to finish off what we have looked at on the introduction part to our work on Indonesia, I'd like us to make reference to page 2 of our booklet. Information on page 2 of our booklet generally gives us an idea on this particular country that we are going to be studying about, Indonesia. The information presented on page 2 is not enough to know all about this particular country. Other information we'll have to find so that we can build up a good picture, and our knowledge of this area also of our case study is good enough. On page 2, I'm going to read through now the information on that particular page. It states there that Indonesia is the only country with which Papua New Guinea shares a land boundary. Other countries that we share a political boundary with also to the south is Australia, to the east, the Solomon Islands, but we do not share a land boundary. With Australia and Solomon Islands, we share a sea boundary. To the north, we have Nauru. To the west, we have Indonesia, and with Indonesia, we definitely have a land boundary. It's a giant in comparison. Only 4 countries, China, with 1.1 billion people, India with 685 million people, the Commonwealth of Independent Nations, 286 million, and the United States of America, 245 million, have larger populations. The 180 million Indonesians, they outnumber Papua New Guineans by more than 45 Indonesians to 1 Papua New Guinean. So if we have to look at the population of Indonesia and we compare with Papua New Guinea, for every 1 Papua New Guinea, there will be 45 Indonesians allocated to that 1 Papua New Guinean. So we can see that this particular country, even though we share a common land boundary with them, in terms of population, they are very huge or large in comparison. Indonesia covers an area of 5 times the size of Papua New Guinea, almost 2 million square kilometers. However, there is one major similarity between Papua New Guinea and Indonesia. Both countries are fundamentally rural, and both countries depend on agriculture. Indonesia consists of some 3,000 islands that is situated within the equatorial region of the world. We have looked at work on climate. Countries 5 degrees north and south of the equator, they experience the equatorial type climate. And Indonesia is within that particular region. Therefore, the climate is hot and wet throughout the year, with the exception of Timor and Eastern Java, which is savanna. The natural vegetation is tropical rainforest, and the major island that the core zone of Indonesia is located is Java. And Java is also the most densely populated island, and that's what we are going to actually base our case study on, and that's when we move on to looking at mapping Indonesia and more information on that in our next lesson. Okay, with that introduction, that will also bring us to the end of our lesson. There is an activity that I'd like you to make reference to from your booklet, and those are the information which have to do with the exercises. Using an atlas for your homework, you are required to mark on the map, the blank world map, areas of the world that are densely populated and are also principally rural in nature, and see if you can name some of those areas. Do not mark the booklet. Blank maps will be given to you for you to be able to complete this activity. And that's the exercise that I'd like you to work on for your homework. Okay, class, if you could stand up now, please. To the pilot teachers, our keyword for lesson 139 is Indonesia. Good afternoon and thank you, students.